What's up, guys? Go back to video. With Phase 4 being halfway done, and with Thor: Love and Thunder being officially released in theaters, and with Miss Marvel having already wrapped up as well, we now have a total of 6 films and 7 Disney Plus shows in Phase 4 so far. That makes a total of 13 movies and shows in Phase 4, and with some of them being the best and some of them being the worst as well. So in this video, this being my ranking of every MCU movie and show in Phase 4 so far, from like the best to the worst, but this is just my own personal ranking and my own opinions as well. But if you're new here and you enjoy stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on videos like this in the future. So let's get into it. And now I'm going to start off this ranking by ranking every MCU movie in Phase 4 from the best to the worst. Starting with number 1, which is Spider-Man No Way Home. It's because with Spider-Man No Way Home and why it's number 1. It's because it brought back the two iconic Spider-Man, which is Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And plus, we were in the era from the hype and all the anticipation from on the marketing and all the trailers. And plus, all the leaks as well. And plus, with everything that we been through leading up to Spider-Man and No Way Home, it was a fun and enjoyable experience having all 3 Spider-Man and having the Spider-Verse come to life in Spider-Man and No Way Home and bring back the iconic villains from each Spider-Man's universe. And now at number 2, which is for Shang-Chi, and now with the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, we got introduced to the first Asian superhero in the MCU, which is Shang-Chi, played by Simu Liu. And with this movie, I really enjoyed it. I thought the action sequences were awesome. It had the most awesome fight scenes, especially with the Iron Fist on that train scene. And plus, we got to learn more about the Ten Rings, and learn about the Mandarin, who was Wen Wu as well, and just everything else that made this movie were really enjoyable. And next, at number 3, which is for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because with the Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, we got to learn more about the multiverse. We were introduced to America Chavez, and we got to learn more about her background as well. And plus, the reason why plus it's at number 3, it's because with the Illuminati that made their MCU debut in this film, they were kind of killed off in 5 minutes by Wanda. As well, and plus we were introduced to Reed Richards with John Krasinski in the MCU, and plus with the Illuminati, they didn't have that much screen time, even though there were cameos in this film. And plus, with those post credit scenes, that definitely would tease the future, especially for Doctor Strange. And now at number 4, which is for Thor: Love and Thunder. And plus, and the reason why it's at number 4 because I thought it was a fun and entertaining film, but at the same time, it was kind of a comedy kind of film. And plus, well, the comedy that was in Thor: Love and Thunder, I thought I think which every moment, every emotional moment gets interrupted, by its comedy. With Gore the God Butcher, he didn't do much of butchering, especially with murder all the gods, and just off screen when we saw the Guardians, and Thor saw every god that I Gore as butchered. And plus, the CGI and the VFX, it kind of looked wonky as well. And at number 5 is Black Widow. It's because, and the reason why it's at number 5 is because we get introduced to Natasha's backstory, a lot, and plus with her family and where she came from, and plus we get introduced to Yelena Belova, who was played by Florence Pugh, and with the Natasha story in this film, I thought it gave her a little bit of chance of the shine, but I think because I think it really didn't. It's because with all the events that I played out in this film, it kind of felt and the pacing was a little bit slow, and plus we get introduced to the main characters, and also especially for that Taskmaster reveal. And now at number 6 is Eternals, and the reason why it's at number 6 is because we got introduced to a whole new group of characters and superheroes in the MCU in Eternals, and even though it was a long movie, 2 hours and 30 minutes, it was still kind of slow pace, and the action was a little bit so slow as well, but I think it really built it up towards the third act as well. And plus, I liked it, but I didn't really love it. even though like it wasn't like the best movie in Phase 4. And plus, we got introduced to a whole new group of superheroes. But like those post-credit scenes, like that definitely got me excited, especially for the future of the Eternals. And that's my ranking for the MCU movies that have come out in Phase 4 so far. And now let's move on to my ranking for the MCU for Phase 4 shows. Starting with number 1, which is WandaVision. It's because with WandaVision, that was the show that I kicked off Phase 4. It introduced us to Wanda and Vision after their lives after Avengers Endgame. It was with each and every episode we were like theorizing and predicting what would happen next, especially festival jokes and everything like that. And the show was like relying on cameos and who was gonna show up and who wasn't. And plus, it was like a fun ride, just like predicting and theorize of what was gonna happen each week, episode after episode. Especially those post-credit scenes, which definitely got us hyped and excited, especially for the future of Scarlet Witch. And now at number 2, we have Loki. It's because with the Loki having his own solo series inside of the MCU, this is the Loki that we know who is the god of mischief, but he was reinvented in a way that we never seen before in this series. We got to see the interaction between him and Mobius, which made it very enjoyable as well. And plus, with the Loki season 2 that is definitely on the way, we can definitely expect more. Plus, in the Loki series, we got to learn more about the TVA, about how the multiverse and how the timeline works, and how all the branches work as well. And plus, we got introduced to so many Loki variants, including for Sylvie. And plus, with the villain that kind of was like set up by the end of the series, which is for Kang the Conqueror. And now at number 3, which is Moon Knight. It's because with the Moon Knight at number 3, that this was Oscar Isaac's introduction in the MCU as Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight. We got to see the show with like a ton of action, especially in any Indiana Jones type of show. And with the Moon Knight suit, I thought it was like so sick and so good just to see in like a Disney Plus show. And I love the Ethan Hawke's character, especially as Arthur Harrow, and well, the action and everything that happened in the show, learning about Egyptian mythology and all that, especially with the pyramids, especially with the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was really fun to explore in the show. And at number 4, we have the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's because with Falcon and Winter Soldier at number 4, it's because we got the friendship of Sam and Bucky in the series after what the last one like after of Avengers Endgame, and with the interaction between Sam and Bucky, I thought it was like a pretty good. We got to see Sam and Bucky, but as the Falcon and Winter Soldier going on sorts of missions together. And plus, like I think like because we were introduced to John Walker as a new Captain America, with which. I'm not sure everyone liked to see it in the show, like with John Walker as a new Captain America, but especially with everything that's going on. Plus, the show was like also dealing with the political stuff as well. We got introduced to the Flag Smashers. And at number 5, we have Hawkeye. It's because with Hawkeye at number 5, we got to see the introduction of Kate Bishop's MCU debut, played by Haley Steinfeld. With the interaction and friendship between Clint and Kate, they got to go on all sorts of missions together, especially with the bow and arrow stopping bad guys. And plus, we got introduced to the show's main villain, which is a Kingpin, who was like making like his MCU debut. And plus, like, I don't think that I like how the show ended, especially with how they killed off Kingpin like right at the end of the season. But I think that it's all based on the comics. Plus, like with how the show ended, plus with the post-credit scenes, I think it definitely had like now one of the best post-credit scenes. But with the show, it definitely sets up Kate Bishop's future in the MCU, especially for the Young Avengers. And at number 6, we have What If. This is like Marvel Studios' first animated series that was reimagining and redefining every major moment that happened in the MCU and all of its movies that happened in animation, from every major moment that happened in the MCU, because of What If that was all changed, which was pretty cool to see. But at the same time, it wasn't like the best, even though it was Marvel Studios' first animated show. And at number 7, we have Miss Marvel. which were wrapped up recently. It's because with the Miss Marvel, we got introduced to Kamala Khan with a fan girl that like loves Marvel, and plus with everything that happened, I kind of like this show from like episodes 1 and 2, but like I feel like with number 3 we got introduced to something different, but then it went downhill, especially for the rest of the series. But like with like the finale, it definitely like to tease like confirm this like big reveal coming to the MCU, and also spoilers if you haven't seen the Miss Marvel finale. It confirmed mutants coming to the MCU, but I liked the Miss Marvel, but I did, and then I love it, but I did like the series. And yeah, on top of all this, again, this is just my personal ranking of every MCU movie and show and that coming out in Phase 4 so far. And like, it's just my personal opinions on why these movies and shows were ranked, especially in Phase 4. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed doing this video, and I really enjoyed ranking all the movies and shows from Phase 4 from like the best to the worst. And hopefully I can continue doing more of these as we're heading into more down the line, especially with the Shield and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, especially if we're gonna get introduced to Phase 5 as well, and for the future of the MCU. So that's me for this video. Let me thoughts in the comments down below, and what are your thoughts on my ranking of every MCU movie and show in Phase 4, and what is your personal ranking? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the notification button for future videos, and you can follow my Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.